Millions of tourists every year drive right into some hidden revenue traps in Italy, like getting hit with a 300 euro fine months after returning home. Driving in Italy is different. It's easy to rent a car, but what comes next is a financial minefield. But today, I'm going to show you how to avoid the fines, the camera traps, and the insurance loopholes. And I'm going to share with you one unwritten Italian driving custom that could get you into a serious accident. I'm Gary with Optimal Travel. Let's get started. Another traveler not too long ago told me that he went to Italy and rented a car, and he was able to rent the car with just his passport and his American driver's license. And he was driving around Italy and got stopped at a routine checkpoint and got a 400 euro fine because he didn't have the international driving permit. The interesting thing in Italy is that it's not on the car rental companies to check this. Some of them will ask for it, but many of them won't. Many of them will just hand over the keys and let you drive away. But if you get stopped by the police, and it doesn't have to be that you even made a moving violation. Police have checkpoints in Italy, and they randomly stop people looking at their documents and checking for proper documents. And if you don't have that permit, you're not legal to drive in Italy. US and Canadian driver's license are not sufficient. It's really simple to fix this. All you need to do is get that IDP from AAA or another agency before you come to Italy. It costs about $20. It's just a paper document that you carry along with you when you're driving in Italy. Have you ever had to use this international driver's permit before? Let me know in the comments below. Renting a car in Italy is significantly different from renting a car in the US. For one thing, all cars in Italy are required to maintain on the vehicle a minimum level of collision damage protection. So what this means is when you rent a car, you automatically have that car covered for the minimum amount of insurance. But it will usually have a sizable deductible that can range from 1,000 to 2,500 euros, which means if you get into an accident, you will be responsible for that deductible. And when you rent the car, they're typically going to put a hold for the amount of that deductible or a good portion of it on your credit card, which means you can expect if you don't pay for the extra insurance when you're renting the car, that you'll have a hold on your credit card for between 500 and 1,500 euros, depending on the car and the rental company that you're going with. This is one way a lot of the car rental companies in Italy aggressively push the upsell for additional insurance, which can cost you between 20 and 50 euros a day. Again, depending on the vehicle you're renting and the car rental agency. But why they want you to buy this is because they'll dangle that carrot in front of you that if you purchase the extra vehicle insurance, which basically waives the deductible, there's usually levels, but if you're going to purchase it, you might as well get the one that has a zero deductible, and in that case they won't put a hold on your credit card or only a minimal hold of about 100 or 200 euros instead of 1,000 euros. This is often confusing to first-time travelers to Italy because it's called excess. That's just what they call it. It's the same thing as a deductible. And when you're looking at your contract and you're seeing that they want to put a big hold on your credit card, if they don't mention it to you, just ask if you can reduce that hold by buying additional insurance. Or if you don't mind the hold, that's entirely up to you. And in some cases, your American credit cards will actually cover that excess deductible, which means you really don't need the extra insurance. It just depends, and you have to check with your credit card company before you travel. Some of the premium credit cards, like the Chase Sapphire or the Capital One Venture, tend to cover this in Italy, which means you really don't need that extra insurance because the credit card will pay that excess or deductible if something happens. On the other hand, American Express explicitly excludes coverage in Italy. So even if you have one of those cards I mentioned, make sure you check with them before you travel to make sure nothing has changed if you're going to decline purchasing additional insurance coverage.
Another fun way of moving around in Italy and feeling like a proper Italian is renting a Vespa. This allows you to drive in narrow streets and find parking whenever it's very hard to drive around on a car.
If you've ever had to deal with renting a car in Italy or Europe, let me know your experience in the comments below. Most cities in Italy, and especially cities with historical centers or tourist areas, have certain traffic restricted zones called ZTLs. And once you're driving and you've got that rental car and you're on the road, you have to watch out for this. You'll see the signs. They're usually pretty clearly marked. However, you can't always rely on Google Maps to take you around these zones because many of these zones come in and out of function, meaning that they operate on certain hours or certain days of the week. So there are times when it's okay to drive those roads and there are times when it's not. And if you mess up and you go when that light is red or when it's restricted, you'll get a fine in the mail, and it might come months later because the way they get you is with a traffic camera, similar to the red light cameras that we tend to see in the US. That camera is going to capture that license plate, and eventually it's going to get back to that car rental company. They'll figure out that it was you who had the car, and they'll probably just put that charge right onto the credit card that you used to rent that car. These zones are usually in areas where they try to make the streets pedestrian only, at least most of the time. And so they only allow certain vehicles on these streets. They could be delivery vehicles or residents in the area who have a specific pass to be able to drive in those zones. But most people can't, especially not tourists, unless you are staying in a hotel that is in one of these zones. In that case, make sure that you register your license plate with that hotel before you drive into that zone, because the hotel will have a way to put that in the system so that when they catch you on camera, they'll know that you are approved for the dates that you're staying at that hotel to drive those zones. I myself don't even enter these zones even when they're supposedly open because I don't want to take any chances. These fines can range from 150 to 300 euros or more. And sometimes there's multiple cameras along these streets. So you could loop around like you're looking for a parking spot, and it might catch you 2 or 3 times and send you multiple fines.
If you're renting a car in Italy, just make sure to check with the accommodation previously that they have a parking spot for you, because it can be tricky to find a parking spot by yourself, especially in big cities where driving is limited.
And if you're planning to drive on one of the most popular highways in Italy, you need to know this next tip. Because one of the most popular highways to drive in Italy, along the Amalfi Coast, gets really crowded, especially during peak months, they regulate how many cars can drive based on license plate number. So if you're planning to drive the Amalfi Coast, you need to look at that last digit on your license plate. If it's an even number, then you're allowed to drive on odd numbered days when this restriction is in force. And if it's an odd number, you're allowed to drive on even number days. Now, I know that's really confusing, right? But that's the rule. And it doesn't apply at all times. It's during the majority of the day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. when it's in force. And it's not enforced on all days. So I'm going to link the website in my description that you can check out for all the details. But it basically applies between April through October. And for some periods, it's only on weekends. For basically all of August and September, it's every day. But you can look up the specific days when this applies and if it's going to affect your drive. The one loophole is if you've booked a hotel somewhere along the Amalfi Coast in one of the coastal towns, then you can drive in there any day. Just make sure that you have that registration with you in case you get stopped at a checkpoint. And then if you don't want the hassle of bumper-to-bumper traffic along the Amalfi Coast Highway, you can just get on a ferry from Napoli and head over to the island of Ischia, which also has some great volcanic coast-side cliffs and beaches and everything else that you might want to see. And you can drive that island in about an hour and a half and get some amazing views.
If you're driving in major highways in Italy, they might have tolls. So Either approach them on the lanes that you know that they have like a coin sign and then you pay like that. Sometimes they accept your credit card, or sometimes they just give you a ticket as you enter, and when you finish the road, they'll charge you the amount of whatever entrance you came in.
Now, if you are going to drive in Italy, make sure you don't misunderstand this next signal. One of the things that really caught me off guard, one of the first times I ever drove in Italy, is what it means when somebody flashes their headlights at you. Now, I grew up driving since I was about 16 years old in the United States, and everybody seems to know that if somebody flashes their headlights at you, it's usually an invitation to kind of get in front of them. Like when you're merging on a highway and the traffic is slowing down, they'll flash their headlights as a signal to just go ahead, I'm letting you in. And this is a common gesture throughout the US. But in Italy, it means the opposite. If somebody flashes their headlights at you in Italy, it means get out of my way. It means move over. If you're merging onto a highway and you see a guy in the lane immediately to the left of you that you're trying to get into and he flashes his headlights at you, he's not letting you in. He's saying, wait, I'm speeding up. And that is a common misunderstanding that North Americans have when they come to Italy and drive. And it can get you into a pickle because you'll not only piss somebody off, but if you're not careful, you could cause an accident, because their understanding in Italy is that that's a signal to you that I'm going too fast, I can't move over, I'm not stopping, wait. But in the US, it means something different. So keep that in mind when you're driving in Italy, especially if you're going to be getting on some of the highways, because you'll see this a lot. And then what about the parking in Italy? I'm going to tell you all about that next. But first, if you would take a minute and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and you won't miss our next video. If you're renting a car in Italy, it's probably because you're going beyond some of the major tourist cities. Because if you're just going to be staying in Rome for a bit and going up to Florence or Venice, you really don't need a car. The public transportation will work fine and a car will just be more of a nuisance. But if you're going more off the beaten path, or you're going to drive some coastlines, go to some of the outlying islands, maybe tour the south, maybe the Puglia region, then you definitely want a car. And you will actually find that there's a fair number of free parking available, but you have to know where to look. Usually you can find this stuff on Google Maps. I have found a ton of free parking areas on Google Maps. They'll usually have many parking areas listed, and they'll tell you which ones are paid and are kind of private, and which ones are public, and which ones are free. So the public ones could be free or they could be metered, and it kind of depends on where you are. If you see white lines painted on any street or any parking area, those white lines indicate that it's free parking. In most of the cases, you can park there no problem. If you see blue lines painted down, there's usually going to be a meter or some type of box nearby that you have to pay for that parking. But in order to avoid having to figure out how to operate those things, the easiest way that I do my parking is with an app. Now there's two apps that tend to work in most places throughout Italy. One is called Easy Park and the other is called MoneyGo. I'm going to link both of them in my description because these apps can come in really handy if you're driving and you rented a car, because there's places that you're just gonna want to park for an hour and you might have to pay, but it's only going to cost you maybe 85 cents or €1 or something like that, and it's easy to do on the app. Plus, when you use the app to do this and you walk away and you're walking around the town or the historical center and you decide, well, I need an extra hour, I want to add some more time, you can always do that right on the app. You don't have to walk back to the car or back to the parking station and put in more money. It's very convenient and easy. And because it uses GPS, when you open up that app, it'll know exactly where you are, what zone you're in. It'll have your license plate. You'll put the license plate in the app, and that's how the police can tell that you've paid for parking. They look up your license plate and it's in the system.
Alternatively, if you find a private parking lot, They are good to be used, especially in big cities, and they're easy to find. However, just use them if you're going to stay there all day long or overnight, because they usually have a flat rate.
One thing you'll want to watch out for is you'll often see free parking on the streets, but some of the boxes will be painted in yellow lines, and those will be specifically reserved for either residents or delivery vehicles, or in some cases, very short-term parking. But make sure you read the signs or just stay away from any yellow spots, as that can get you in trouble with hefty fines and even get your car towed. So now that you're all ready to drive throughout Italy, there are some changes going on at the border that are catching some tourists off guard. I'll tell you all about that right here.